What's up, Yang Gang? It is a dreary day out here today, but the Grassroots Yang Gang is working hard for y'all. We have a lot of news. As you see, there was already a video that we put out earlier. So this video is all about what happens when robots and pirates invade an Andrew Yang rally. We'll get to that video in a moment, but you know what? We've had so much huge news in the Andrew Yang community. The first thing, Yang Gang, is the Q3. The amount came out. Zach told CNN that it was $10 million, and we have 6.3 million or something like that on hand. So Yang Gang, y'all stepped up. Y'all stepped up.
10 million.
10 million.
That's huge.
Crazy. We tripled.
Tripled what we raised in Q2, which was still pretty good.
And congratulations to the Yang Gang on showing up for that Daily Coast poll.
Yeah.
We made a nice increase, and it's just showing that the growth of the Yang Gang is going to be this continual thing. And speaking of fundraising, this is what we got. Bling! As you can see, it's not that much. And I did find a nice winter coat at Goodwill for $25.
It is very warm.
Yes, they are warm. So, please donate if you can. The donation links are in the description. And
thank you to everyone that has donated.
Thank you to everyone who has donated.
Very much appreciated.
We appreciate it. Shout outs to our Patreons. We appreciate y'all, new Patreons. Head over to our Patreon page if you want to support this channel on a monthly basis. Check this out.
Frankly, the only thing that we know of with any actual efficacy on the ground with exiting people from the worst and most toxic and pernicious attitudes. So to the extent Andrew Yang is doing that, and he is doing some of that, I happen to disagree with his prescriptions and frame, but he is doing some of that. Props to him. So let's check this out.
Yes, was. Now I'm a Yangocrat. But only for Andrew Yang. I'm only here on the Democratic side to vote for Andrew Yang because I would not give you 2 cents for an establishment Democrat.
I also think we need to look ahead to the general here because Andrew Yang is not going to be the nominee for the Democratic Party.
No, he is not.
I don't like to make too many predictions, but I feel like I can make that one. And that guy that they're talking to, he specifically names the Democratic establishment as a thing he doesn't like. And I absolutely believe that that guy could be convinced to vote for Bernie Sanders, and he could not be convinced to vote for any of the other candidates. And look, you need swing voters. I feel like a lot is made of a relatively small number of people who make up swing voters in places like the Rust Belt, but they are electorally significant. And we're going to need to pick up a lot of those if we want to redraw the electoral map and beat Donald Trump.
Yang Gang, we are getting some exposure. Big, huge shout outs to Krystal Ball. Oh my goodness.
Right? That's great.
She was talking about, well, you know what? We'll just let y'all take a look at this clip.
Yeah.
The link's in the description if you need it.
On your radar.
Well, Yang's team gave the scoop to CNN. I get it, guys. CNN's a massive international news juggernaut, and we're just a little show that could. But we did get a little bit of a jump on Andrew Yang's third quarter fundraising numbers. Yang Gang, y'all have been working pretty hard out there. All right, here we go. This quarter, Andrew raised $10 million. 99% of those donors were small dollar donors, and the average donation amount was $30.18. Now, for some context here, this amount demonstrates massive growth for the Yang campaign. Last quarter, they raised $2.8 million, which I gotta say, at the time, was actually a really impressive amount for the Upstart campaign. 10 million, though, that is a real number. 10 puts you in the league with the top 5 heavy hitters. After all, Kamala just announced she raised just a bit more than that this quarter at 11.6 million. Here are the totals that we know so far as of this writing. You got Bernie leading the pack at 25 million, Pete falling off a bit, Kamala kind of holding in place, and Corey, who has spent years cultivating Wall Street donors like it was his job, because it was, getting beat by Andrew Yang. That's to say nothing of Michael Bennett as well. So time to put a new spin on an oldie but goodie. It's all fun and games until Andrew Yang passes you in fundraising. Now, I spoke with the campaign and they told me that the biggest spike in fundraising dollars came after the debate performance with the big freedom dividend announcement, you know, the one the pundits all mocked and scorned. Overall, though, the team told me the pace was pretty steady, strong and steady. Their message to the country: Andrew Yang is here to stay. Here's the quote from campaign manager Zach Grauman. This grassroots fundraising total with $6 million plus in the bank ensures this campaign will have the funding to compete and outperform expectations through Super Tuesday and beyond. Guys, I think even MSNBC is going to have to learn his name. So here's what I love about this whole dynamic of Yang's success. It utterly exposes just how vapid and uninspiring the overwhelming majority of our political leaders really are. I mean, think about this. Yang was a complete unknown, who the Washington Post famously called a random man, running on what may as well have been a random policy in that UBI was not popular and barely known outside of niche policy circles, to try to tackle a problem in automation that people are really just starting to wake up to. By the rules of conventional wisdom, the whole project was an insanity wrapped in an absurdity, which for the record is exactly the kind of shit that I'm into. And yet here we are, with Yang inspiring a grassroots movement that not only lights up the internet on his behalf, but has now given him the money and with it the credibility to really and truly compete. Savor this moment, Yang Gang, because if there's one thing I know, the media and the establishment respect money more than anything else. Mark my words, this will be a turning point in coverage and in treatment of this campaign. Meanwhile, the supposed frontrunner has so little grassroots enthusiasm behind him that he just literally gave up on raising money and trying to find supporters online. In September, Biden's online spending dropped to 16th place. Get this, he spent less online than two candidates who actually dropped out of the race entirely in that month. It would be hilarious if not for the fact that Biden could very well end up being the nominee, in which case we're all just totally screwed. Another report, this one from Politico back in August, found that Biden raised 60% of his online cash in the first week of his campaign. After that first glowing week, he's been largely forced to shovel up cash the old-fashioned way by promising rich people to their faces that nothing will fundamentally change under his administration. Here's all I'm trying to say. If a random man with a random policy idea can inspire enough people to fund a grassroots campaign, what the hell is the excuse of all these other people? If your campaign can't stand without selling your political soul to big donors, consider the possibility that your campaign is less about selling us something tasty and more about stuffing something odious down our throats. It's that swallow hard and vote Biden spirit. You'll love to see it. And let's be clear about the kind of people you get in bed with when you do the old-fashioned suck-up-to-donors fundraising approach. According to Open Secrets, the number 2 donor to Biden's 2020 bid has been Paul Weiss et al. It's a law firm that coincidentally just happened to win a big case this summer on behalf of their client, ExxonMobil, protecting the world's largest oil company from any possible liability for alleged complicity in human rights violations in Indonesia. Congrats to Paul Weiss on their tremendous service to ExxonMobil, and congrats to the Biden campaign for having so many friends and allies there. Yang and Sanders and Warren and Tulsi prove there is another way, that the groveling before hedge fund managers and oil execs and corporate lawyers method of fundraising is completely optional, at least at the presidential level. Candidates do have a choice. It's actually a revolutionary development. For the first time in modern history, we have a chance to have a president whose only accountability is to the grassroots. It's an incredibly democratizing moment that means, yes, even a random man has a shot at the Oval Office. Sagar, what do you make of these numbers?
I mean, it's incredible. Like, you have multiple United States senators with egg on their faces, and it's like you said, which is if you stand for nothing, the people are beginning to take notice. And that's the great thing about the internet. It's about the democratization of information, and the spread has equalized the playing field. Yang doesn't need the media. He has Twitter. He has Instagram. He has Reddit. I mean, the ability to circumvent these gatekeepers who for so long just condemned us to have terrible politicians is the greatest development in the last 20th century.
I mean, he probably has 0 mainstream endorsements.
Yeah.
Your point about doing this completely adversarially to the media is great and well taken. I mean, they've forgotten him, they've dismissed him, they've ignored him.
They can call him John Yang all he wants. He just raised $10 million. $10 million. How many times has Cory Booker been on Morning Joe?
There you go. $6 million in the bank. He's going to be in it for the long haul, guys.
Did y'all catch in that segment right there? where she was talking about Joe Biden basically folding up camp. Y'all, he has completely backed away from all social media. He's all but admitted defeat. He's admitted defeat. He knows he can't do it. And
he doesn't have the grassroots.
He doesn't have the grassroots support. He absolutely doesn't have it.
All his support are just people who are not paying attention yet, basically.
Yeah. And then you look at the viability of a candidate like Bernie Sanders, who just went into the hospital today. Do you know what he was in there for?
He got stents put in his heart.
Oh, yeah. And we
hope for a speedy recovery.
Yes. Speedy recovery, Bernie. We got nothing but Yang Gang love for you. And we love all of our burners that are over here. Absolutely. Speedy recovery. But you're seeing all these front runners now starting to fall by the wayside. So who are the two competitors that are basically left on the Democratic side? It's going to be Andrew Yang and Elizabeth Warren. And I don't understand the support for Elizabeth Warren.
I don't either. And the only thing I can think is because she's female.
I mean, that could be it. And you know what? We want Tulsi on our ticket. To be honest, can we get Tulsi on our ticket?
But I do have to say, I have been thinking about it a lot, and I know we spoke about it before, and we just haven't done it yet. Doing a Women for Yang video, like a video explaining why Andrew Yang is the best candidate for women, because he does have a lot of male supporters, but he's got a lot of female supporters too. And we can bring that number up, and so women aren't just voting for Warren just because she's a female, because she's not what's best for women.
Right. There's a difference between voting for her because she's a woman and what is actually best for women. Okay, so it might be good for the United States to have a woman president. There wouldn't be anything, not awesome about that.
Right.
But what is actually best for women? And what is best for women is to give them the options that they're going to need to help themselves in difficult life situations. There's a lot of women who are trapped in situations, in abusive relationships and stuff, and they can't get out because they don't have any funds. And the best way to empower those women is to put $1,000 a month into their hands. Put $1,000 a month into everybody's hands. Sure. That makes so much sense to me. I get passionate when I talk about, because when I was growing up, my aunt was always in abusive relationships. And to think that if we had already had the freedom dividend in place in this country, she wouldn't have had to go through all that. I mean, it was bad, and she was trapped, and there was just no way for her to get out. And unfortunately, there are so many people who are in that same situation. So the best way to empower people is to put finances in their hands. The best way to empower homeless people is to put finances in their hands. Let them decide what they're going to do with it. Are some people going to screw it up? Absolutely. There's always going to be screw-ups in the world. But the fact of the matter is, the vast majority of people are going to do what's going to benefit them to move their life forward, to get them off the street, to get them out of abusive relationships. Y'all, Bernie's $15 an hour plan, that ain't getting nobody nowhere.
Federal jobs guaranteed. I'm not working for the government, are you?
No.
No.
Y'all stay to the end of this video. We wanted to put this video in our video because it says so much and it was so well done. And we just think that the message in it is awesome. So please stay and watch that video. But now, it's all about robots and pirates.
Robots and pirates. Who doesn't love robots and pirates?
I know Amazon loves robots.
And I love pirates. By the way, all of our videos keep getting demonetized. So that really sucks because, we do depend on ad revenue and more and more.
what's happened is I don't know why, but YouTube, every video that we upload, YouTube is yellowing right out of the gate, and we have to dispute it.
Yeah, and it takes at least 24 hours to dispute, but when we put a video out, most of our views are in the first 24 hours. So if they're not running ads in those first 24 hours, we're not making anything. So that sucks. We're going to figure it out, though. We dispute every single one, and then they greenlight it. And they're like, oh, this video is suitable for advertising. Well, duh.
Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
So enjoy this clip of our interview with Robots for Yang and Pirates for Yang.
So what's up? I'm doing good. I am Russell Peterson with Grassroots Yang Gang. Alright. And they wanted us to interview y'all. Fantastic. Alright, so you guys want to say your name to the camera?
I am Abel Silva. I'm his brother, Philip Silva. Can't you see the resemblance?
I do actually see the resemblance.
Crystal clear, can't have a mistake.
So what made you guys Andrew Yang?
I actually became an Andrew Yang fan from this gentleman. He introduced me to his platform almost a year ago. I got a chance to go up and see Andrew in Keene. I think it was in January, February, somewhere around there. I think he is doing a great job of actually speaking to a bunch of the problems that are facing the United States right now. We've got a lot of politicians who, rather than ever actually wanting to address challenges, are really much more interested in deflecting questions and then getting to their talking points. They don't want to actually deal with what the real problems are. Andrew seems to want to get messy. Sometimes you're going to have to. We've had a really long time where we've operated with a ton of false assumptions. Most of the economic policy for my lifespan has been this idea of trickle-down economics. Trickle-down economics don't work once you are outside of the top 0.5%. Sure, maybe if you're a 1%er, you might get a little spilled into your class, but we have watched the American middle class get utterly gutted from the Reagan administration on. Even when we've had Democratic presidents, we have not had policy that was about supporting the American middle class. What makes America great is a strong middle class. It is a middle class that is able to have economic mobility. It is a middle class that has the ability to have their kids be the first one in their families to go to college, to be able to get better jobs. And now we're looking at an entire generation that is very likely to have a real hard time even doing as well as their parents. We've seen a massive consolidation of wealth, and that's come at the expense of the American dream and of American flexibility and mobility.
So we got yours, right? Now I gotta ask the robot something. Are you really coming for all the jobs in America?
I want all of your jobs. I have a program to come for every job. I want to clean the toilets. I want to scrub the floors. I want to check you at the store. But while I believe in jobs for us robots, I believe in dividends for you humans.
Oh, look at that, Yang Gang. You heard it here first. The robots want dividends for humanity. That is awesome. Y'all, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much. Definitely check out Grassroots Yang Gang. Appreciate it.
And you were a Trump supporter before that?
I was.
All right. Glad you saw the light.
And you know what? That's a 2-for-1. Every Trump supporter that you put in Andrew Yang's camp, that's one away from Donald Trump. And
Please bring all your friends.
We're coming. You can believe that. You can believe that.
I got a feeling that Andrew Yang's going to do a whole lot more for you and your friends and your family than Donald Trump has ever done.
You know what, Yang Gang? None of these politicians have ever directly affected my life. But do you know what would affect my life? $1,000 a month. I promise you that'll affect my life.
I'll tell you, some people say $1,000 a month would not be transformational. That means they've never been poor.
That's right. You're exactly right. The broke folk vote is real, y'all. We're real.
And when I take all your jobs, more are you going to be broke.
We appreciate you, brother.
So as you can see, Yang Gang, y'all are showing up, y'all are being creative, it's just incredible the amount of creativity. And that's something that I was touching on yesterday, is with the whole Q3 fundraising that we did, and Andrew Yang having that in his pocket to do what he needs to do with on the campaign side, and then just the sheer creativity of the Yang gang.
The most creative gang, and
there's no other candidate that has such a creative support base as Andrew Yang does. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, you see it everywhere, and you know why that is? I kind of believe it's because there are so many artists and stuff out there who are, you know, they are struggling artists, and they don't need to be. You know, all the artists.
They've got the talent. Yeah.
All, you know, that $1,000 a month is going to help tremendously. You know, so, and a lot of artists have jumped onto that idea.
We have to evolve in the way we think about work and value in our own place, in our own country.
And this video that you're about to see is just one such effort that I was talking about. It's so inspirational to me. This video that you are about to see, we wanted to put it on our channel because we wanted it to get the proper run that it should, because it was just so awesome.
And we'll link it down below too.
We'll link it down below. We appreciate y'all, Yang Gang. Like, share, subscribe. See you on the next one.
Come on, mommy, quick, quick, quick.
Because I fantasized about ever being president. I'm running for president because I'm an American and I'm a parent, and I can see the country we will leave to our children, and it is not something that I'm willing to accept.
Call me different colors, believe in different shades. Go in here together for the world we want to be. And we have a chance to make that change, as we say.
You sit when you're talking.
Oh, that's a drill.
Yeah.
I thought that was an owl.
Hold on. You got a little boogie now.
Oh.
Don't use me. Stop. There's that rooster.
There's that rooster everybody loves.
I don't have the rat on me today, though.
So,
the robot rooster.
I mean, all I can use the rooster. Why is that man yelling?
He wants to be in our YouTube video.
Oh, guys, that rooster.
Okay. Roosters for Yang! The rooster!
The freaking rooster.
We love bloopers, right? Do y'all love the bloopers? Tell me in the comments.
Why is this thing it's been in our background for
I
2
know.
videos, man.
That last...
The
last video, it looked like it was splitting us and we were in 2 different scenes.
Now it's gonna be gone. And it's been there the whole video.
Disappeared! Magic. Okay. Magic.
So y'all, here is the robot.
You're not just talk over.
Y'all, here is what's going on. Okay.
Stop sticking to me with your jacket. That doesn't look right. Get on my step stool.
Come on, rooster.
You heard us making a video.
You wanted to come out and join. Look, some of y'all been asking where the hell that rooster is. There he is. There he is.
We're not even gonna count. It's gonna be too many to count this time.
No, we totally
Yeah,
gotta
y'all
count.
check out that video when we counted how many times the rooster crowed in a 7-minute video.
Now you have to put a rooster counter.
I'm not doing a rooster counter. F that. Okay. Go on to the robot. I'm really cold. My hands are cold.
You know
I need
now
some
that
coffee.
you said F that, now you totally got to do it.
Not enough time. That took a while. Doing the rooster count, it really did. Took a long time. Took me longer than it took to make shoot the video. I'm not gonna pee. Okay, go
Can
ahead.
you stop dancing around because you gotta go pee?
Yeah, I'll say very
All right,
still.
we'll get this done. I'm not sure what that was. So we weren't gonna end this video with bloopers. We were gonna end this video with a video.
Another video. Videos on videos on videos. That's what we do.
Right?
This is gonna be a long ass video. You know why? We got clips from everywhere. Keep sticking to me. You're Velcro, man. I'm not gonna go pee until we're done with this.
Do you want to go pee?
Nope. I got this. I can stand very still. Watch me. This is 34 years of practicing holding my bladder. Just run. Robots! I'm good. I'm going to stand very still right now.
Roosters for Yang?
Rooster doesn't want to crow now.
Alright. Can't get him to do it on cue.
Nope. Just say it for me. I can't even.
There's no.
How we value. What does he say? Do the stump part. What's his exact verbiage there?
Why don't you just put him in there?
Yeah.
You want to put him
Yeah,
in there?
there we go. And I love pirates.
Yummy, 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 yummy. Oh, ew. Ah!